Before we dive into looking at reading a bit about the early peoples and all that in textbooks such as this, it is important to know whose point of view that these stories are told from, or this account of history. Now, if you think of it, you and your friend could have been at the same event, something could have happened, and the way one person described it versus another person describing it is going to shift and vary depending on a lot of different things. For example, let's say it's Susie and Samsonite. And Samsonite has $1 million every day, and Susie does not. Right? Susie? I don't know. Can't remember. Those two life experiences are going to be very different on how they view what is happening in front of them and how they tell the story. It is important to know that so much of history is told from the perspective of a white middle to upper class man. That is really one of the main views that our society's experience of history has been told about through books such as these. It's important to know that because it's not the only point of view. It's not the only way of telling these stories and of relating the experiences of what happened. It's so important to be able to look at, well, what is a woman's experience of history? What is an African American's experience? What is a First Nations person's experience? And the thing is, it's not about being right or wrong. It's about having an open heart and an open mind, being able to look at and see how have other people experienced being alive, and how would those experiences shape how they live, how they see, what their needs are to help individuals be able to live a life-giving life. There are many cultural ways of thinking that aren't healthy and that aren't life-giving and that keep people stuck. And so it's really important to be able to learn how to think for yourself, to be able to look at a whole bunch of different perspectives. And we're just starting to see them coming out now. These people be feeling free enough and being able to express what was life like for them. How is it that they see this or that or the other thing? And we are in such a very interesting time when it comes to starting to realize, starting to understand what does it mean for different groups of people in our culture today. What does it mean to be alive? And how is it that we can shift our seeing to be able to have compassion and to be able to have empathy and to be able to walk forward together, not in anger or hatred or shame, but walking forward together in healing and love and forgiveness and a willingness to understand and a willingness to see. So it's really important to know that as we go forward and we're reading textbooks and we're looking at what's happening in the world around us, ladies and gentlemen, you are our future. And it's really important to be able to understand that. So that's something we'll talk about as well as we move forward reading this text and so on and so forth.